The day we've all been waiting for is finally here. It's race day. The Brazilian Grand Prix has hosted some of the most important races in F1, and I've got a feeling today will be no different. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junção into one of the two DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospects today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn one. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Albon, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, Grosjean, Norris, Magnussen and Lance Stroll, Perez, Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz and Hülkenberg, Gasly, Russell, Robert Kubica and Daniel Kvyat, Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, the run into turn one isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care. But only a few laps left. If you can live with it, stay out. Well done off the line, we're in a good position. You're leading the pack, P1 Bottas behind. Look after these tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound. Bottas is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 2.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 1 lap old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 22.6. tyre data is looking positive so far. We think there's plenty of life left in these for the moment. Okay, entering lap 3 now. DRS has been enabled. Be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage. This is your final lap of the race. Yes, you've done it! Well done!
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, my driver of the day has to be Charles Leclerc. He was unstoppable out on the track today, weaving through the competition with ease.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. Welcome to Melbourne. You can hear the roar of the crowd out there, which can only mean one thing: race day is upon us. We're a stone's throw from the enormous Port Phillip Bay for today's race at the 3.3-mile Albert Park circuit. It's a bumpy racing surface here, and the 16 corners could prove especially difficult in the wet conditions. Watch out for a safety car at some point during the Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson is alongside me today, nice and dry up here in the commentary box. But how are you, Ant? Looking forward to the race?
I'm very well, thank you, Crofty. Forgot my umbrella on the way up to the box, so I'm a little bit soggy, but I'll dry out soon enough. It's going to be an interesting race in this weather. Obviously, your strategy changes completely once it starts raining, as overtaking is a lot easier in the wet. The focus moves away from pure aerodynamic efficiency and tyre management, and of course the driver themselves can always make more of a difference in these conditions than in the dry.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Alexander Albon put in a great lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Bottas, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, Stroll, Grosjean, Carlos Sainz and Perez, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Pierre Gasly and Antonio Giovinazzi. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care. Verstappen is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 7.4 seconds. They're on fresh inters. Leclerc is behind you. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh inters. Our gap to first place is 7.9 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. race. Behind, they're on fresh inters. Their tyres are 2 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:46.1. Okay, clear. Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
My driver of the day has to be, no question, Antonio Giovinazzi. Such an assured drive from one of the sport's newer stars, and a performance he can be very, very proud of.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.